Hey guys, so y'all seem to like these tutorial style videos. So today I'm gonna go over just a few tips and tricks on applying hair dye in WWE 2K25. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are able, check out the Patreon for general support. It's only $1 a month. In the spirit of transparency, I'm definitely not the god of hair dyeing in these games. These are just some tips I've learned over time, and think they should be somewhat helpful. 1. I would say that reference images can be absolutely earth-shattering as far as realism and overall believability. Like I've said about attires and tattoos, don't be afraid to use them, even if it's just to get an idea of the vibe you're going for. Hair dye concepts are one of those things that I personally don't see anything wrong with directly copying, as far as real-life references. Keep in mind that 2K's hair dye application apparatus is very clunky and finicky. Meaning that depending on the angle of the in-game camera while applying the dye, the game will apply the hair dye to the other side of the hair/character model. Two, make sure to blend the original color of the dye job with darker or lighter tones depending on the effect you're seeking. When a hair dye is applied well, it should blend into the natural hair color as well if applicable. Similar to attires, don't be scared to spend an hour fine-tuning the hair dye to your liking. Personally, I value all my CAWs based on their realism and their overall vibe. Although I'll admit that some of my CAWs can be a little lacking in realism, as far as hair, face texture, and even tattoos are concerned. But the main priority is to just keep getting better at this every time you load up the game. 3. Use a mix of linear lines and color-based default circle application to also blend that difference in dye colors. But also take into consideration what style of hair dye job you're going for, obviously. Luckily, as I've said before, I used to draw comic book characters growing up, so I've played around with different color blending techniques on paper. It's about just taking those similar principles and applying them in the game. Which, to be fair, is the same with attires. Colors and how you use them can dictate how the CAW is perceived in relation to realism. Even if you don't go down the route of dyeing the hair of your CAW, it's still important to point out how crucial the hairstyle of your CAW is in terms of its relationship to reality. So basically, when it comes to designing a CAW as far as realism is concerned, just don't be a Democrat. Truth and reality matters here. I've also been flirting with the idea of doing some CAW and style videos as well every once in a while. So also let me know if that's something you guys might be interested in. Or even just some criticisms you might have. I've already been cheated on before in my past relationships, so you're not gonna hurt my feelings, doggy. My romantic mishaps with mentally ill septum-pierced pretty white women aside, here's a few examples of my CAWs where I used mostly principles from this video. Again, like said relationships with mentally ill septum-pierced white women, it's a lot of trial and error. So don't be discouraged if it takes a while to really nail down the idea you're going for. Plus she'll probably leave me once I have a good idea of what I'm going for anyway, because nothing I do will ever be good enough for her. But that's a topic for another day. Today is about hair dye application in a wrestling game, bro. Thank you for watching. Be sure to let me know any questions you guys may have in the comments below, or don't. I'm just another dude on the internet. Again, also be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I really need to get these watch hours up, bro. Also check us out on Instagram and X if you would like to keep up with the channel or even to just bother me on a night I can't sleep, lol. Catch y'all later.